Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Cheetah and Cheshire, Rob the Justice League, issue number 2. This was different. And it wasn't until the end that I realized just how good the comic actually was. Well, almost the end. Let's get more into that after we talk about who made this comic book. So Greg Rucka is the writer. Nicola Scott is the artist. Annette Kwok is the color artist. Scott and Kwok both do the front cover also. Yay! And Troy Pateri does the letters. There are, it looks like, 2 variant covers. So they're actually putting an awful lot into this comic book, as far as I can tell, which is pretty interesting. I'm glad they are. What else happens in this comic book? Okay, nope, not much. All right, well, that's the end of the review. I'm joking. So this was, if the first issue was deciding what the heist was going to be, mind you, without a whole lot of details, okay, cool. This issue is putting the team together. I like how they're taking their time with this comic book. Too many comics are rushed. Boom, 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 go, 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 right? And finding that pacing is important. And I get it. It's better to, arguably better to rush a comic book as opposed to let it drag on, right? Slowly but surely. You got to move the plot. But I don't know. I think some people in DC especially, even more so than Marvel, seem to think that everybody's ADHD and can't just enjoy a comic book at the pacing it's going at, right? Like, oh yeah, we got to get from the beginning to the middle as soon as possible. No, not necessarily. I'm good with waiting a little bit. So anyway, much like the front cover shows, they're sitting around in Cheshire's apartment and talking about this, that, and the other thing. What's wild to me is that they're sitting here doing this stuff, and this chick, Leon, comes walking in, and apparently she's Cheshire's daughter. Now, I may have mentioned before, I know who Cheshire is. I'm not like the hugest fan of her. I thought she was okay as a villain. I mean, it is what it is. I know a lot of you guys got a lot more into the Teen Titans comic books than I did, which is crazy because I thought I was into them, but not like some of you guys. like there are no other comics in the world, and it's fine. I get it. Wolfman, Perez, all these guys, they killed it back in the day. But I don't know. I guess I preferred other comics. In this particular case, though, I had to look up. I'm saying all this because I had to actually look up who this Leon chick was. And it's funny. It says that Cheshire has a daughter, but that she's deceased. And she has a husband, but he's deceased. And I'm thinking, so who's the dad that Cheetah is talking about? Are you going to snitch on us if I tell you what we're doing? Like, what? I don't understand what's happening here, right? Like, I honestly thought it was like Red Arrow was the dad or something like that. Like maybe something happened that I don't know about. Either way, there's stuff going on behind the scenes that apparently the internet hasn't caught up with yet. So I'm completely clueless as to who this chick is. And there seems to be an ongoing theme here because I think we're all clueless about who this last chick is, who they're recruiting in this, which is fine. So this seems like the introduction of a brand new character. So I want you to think about that. In issue number 2 of a relatively whatever comic book where they're introducing a brand new character. Is this character going to be amazing? I don't know. I'm going to say there's potential. Oh, just stepped on cat treats. In a bag, not just loose because ew. Anyway, I'm going to say that's kind of interesting. I don't want to, let me get there in a minute. Let me keep talking about the plot of the comic book as it's going. So it's wild that here's this little girl who they're planning this stuff in front of, and she's just sitting there like, oh yeah, whatever. It's just Tuesday, right? Wednesday for the rest of us. Anyway, so we get moving over to Hazard. They're saying that her powers were amplified back in, what was it called? Absolute Power. I forget which comic book they're referencing to, but I know that like I don't know. I didn't read the Absolute Power or whatever the comic book was where everybody got changed or boosted or replaced or something like that. Um, yeah. So I have no idea if this was in the comics, outside of the comic books, whatever. Anyway, so her powers now include messing with tech specifically, causing the probabilities within tech to change. So her original powers still stay. She's able to help out her grandfather doing whatever, like making he looks like Mark Twain. It's so freaking funny. He's on the Mississippi. He's talking a bunch of crap. Loves me some Mark Twain, which is why I got this reference immediately. Um, she's still helping him out winning his poker game, but now she's affecting all of the tech inside of this casino. Now it's not like this is in the middle of freaking the biggest casino in Nevada, but I mean that's pretty cool. She's able to do that. So is this actually going to be the tech person? Maybe. I'm trying to think of the possibilities of being able to, I control the probability of tech. So boom, she's not going to, I don't know that she's necessarily going to find out the info that she needs, but if we're talking about bypassing security, yeah, I'm pretty sure she could actually do this. I would make this more as the backup tech person than anything else, but I don't know about making her the main one. Plus it's funny. I'm looking at this girl and I started getting really depressed reading this comic book. She's sitting there smoking. She's helping out her granddad. She's just, at one point she says, "Kill me now." And it's like, wow, this is really depressing. After I just got finished seeing two criminals haphazardly talking about, committing a huge crime in front of a little girl, impressionable, right? And I'm thinking, this is going to be, I don't know if I'm going to read the next issue after seeing these two girls just doing what they're doing. But then all of a sudden it lifted me up a lot. Why? Because we go to Florence, right? And all of a sudden we see Clarion the Witch Boy. And he's trying to steal this magical libre, this book, right? But Cheetah got there first. Mind you, Zoom taught her how to manipulate time or to, manipulate time to appear as though she has super speed. And she was already fast to begin with. So manipulating time as a minor speedster makes her insane. So she could have stolen that stuff right in front of them. They wouldn't have even noticed. I love that. I love that about this character. So she, what happens? She's sitting there teasing like, hey, I might give you the book if you're willing to work with me. She winds up giving him the book anyway as a show of trust, which is interesting, which is good, actually. Guys, I love Clarion the Witch Boy. This and the way that Nicola Scott draws him in this, it looks so simple, yet perfect. Can we make this the go-to way to draw Clarion the Witch Boy? In fact, didn't I ask a while ago that we should be having a Clarion the Witch Boy miniseries at the very least? I'm pretty sure I did. This was like 2 years ago. Did that happen yet? No wonder I fell off of comics, right? Anyway, I'm loving how this is going so far. So she convinces him, and it should be a very easy fix. We're going to rob the Watchtower, and there's a whole bunch of magical artifacts up there. I'm just saying. And he's like, ooh. And so, of course, he's totally in. And I love Tinkle is sitting there back and forth. The familiar cat, back and forth like, This brought me boosted, boom, like this, where I'm up here with this comic book. Then we're going to go and recruit another person. So I think we're still going to have 3 more people we're going to have to recruit in the next issue. Nice. I'm looking for one or 3, depending on how they're going to do this. Anyway, the next person they get is this other girl, and she's got the ability. She's just this little girl. She's got a cat. It's wild, right? Cheshire, you got Cat, you got Hazard, you got, Hazard's kind of like, what's that got to do with cats, right? You got Clarion the Witch Boy with his cat, and you've got this girl with the little cat hoodie, right? She got the pink hoodie and pink hair, and she pulls the hoodie over top and she's got the cat ears on top. So there's a little commentary there. I'm like, okay, interesting. Are they showing that Hazard is the odd man, odd person out because she doesn't have a cat theme? Hmm. But this new chick, she's super strong. She's trying to help out in a riot. She's going up against the cops and whatnot. Nowadays, with a lot of the young readers, I'm wondering if she's going to be seen as a villain in this. like, like is she? I don't know. I expect her to see her with other countries' flags protesting and stuff like that. Anyway, for whatever reason, she's helping out against the cops. They're at least showing that she's ridiculously strong. She punched and dented an armored police vehicle, like a SWAT vehicle that's shooting water for some reason. That was a long time ago. And then like tosses it into a building and the whole building is collapsing. That's pretty crazy. But she's a little girl. So this appears to be a first appearance. I have no idea who this girl is. And apparently neither does Cheshire. She what right? Yeah. Anyway, she seems to be more like that Runaways character, Bruiser. I think later on she started calling herself Princess Power. So yeah, I'm wondering if that's what they're trying to do. Like, obviously, comics are always bouncing off of each other, back and forth, right? Like, oh, this guy made Marvel made this character, so I'm gonna make a character version of that, and DC makes a character, I'm gonna take a version of that, right? So interesting, interesting. I like the way they're doing this. Most of these seem to be young kids, though. Like, I should say 25 and younger. So people who haven't quite come into themselves just yet. So this is kind of helping juvenile delinquency, it seems. Interesting way to go about doing this. So a first appearance in this comic book, digging it, every reason in the world to grab this comic book. No reason in the world to think she's actually going to go anywhere, but who knows? But I will say this. As it stands, this is such a fantastic comic book. Again, got me a little depressed in the beginning, thinking, this isn't going to go anywhere. Am I even going to bother doing this review? Maybe I'll do like a 5-minute thing where I'm just like, I don't really like this because of this. But after Clarion showed up and all that stuff, I was suddenly back into it again. So just a heads up that there may be a dip for some of us. Anyway, I do like the conversation that they had in here, why they're not going to hire any A-listers. And yeah, perfect. Absolutely perfect. And they didn't even turn this into a feminist thing. Like, we would never backstab anybody. Like, yeah, you've backstabbed plenty of people. What are we doing here? So they just kept it a very simple, very even-keeled story where, no, we're going to be the ones in charge. We're going to be the two A-listers. Although I would question, is Cheshire actually considered an A-lister? So let's say an A and a B-plus lister at best. Right? As far as I can tell. This was really good. Everything in this comic book made sense and really, really, like when you're doing a villains comic, you can't have a whole lot of heroic stuff in there. And that's exactly what we don't see is heroic stuff. I'm digging the way they put this together. This is such a fun comic book, guys. If you haven't jumped on this yet, I'm positive you can still get issue number 1. You definitely want issue number 2. Just in case. And then, yeah, after that, it's all gravy from there. I'll talk to you guys later. Like the video, watch an ad. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.